guys, Jane here and I have come to do a review for you. This is his chair apparently, it's not my chair. So, last night I went to go see The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2, and this is going to be a very vloggy, very freeform review of it because I didn't even write down any notes, which is probably a terrible idea. So, it has been a while since I read the Mockingjay book, mostly because it is my least favorite of the trilogy. I have read The Hunger Games numerous times, and the other two a few times. But it's been a long time since I read it, and I couldn't be arsed to reread it before going to see the movie. But from what I could remember of the book, the movie followed the book pretty solidly, almost note for note. And we'll talk about that in just a second. Right away in the movie, I noticed that a problem I was having initially was that they were in a hurry to get a lot of information across, like, you know, stuff that you might have forgotten from the previous movie, and so the storytelling was very jarring. It would just go scene, 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 jumping to different places, jumping to different things. It's like, okay, we have to remember about Peeta, and okay, we have to remember about Fiddick and Annie. I know we have to have a scene where Katniss hugs her sister, and it's just like bam, 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 bam. Stuff that you're supposed to remember, and it doesn't flow, and it doesn't feel very natural. I understand why they did it, but boy was it jarring, and even at times confusing to figure out where I was. Like at one point, she had a kiss with Gale, and then they jump cut to her waking up, which made me uncertain if the kiss with Gale was supposed to be a dream sequence. Just the cuts were really jarring. It went away once they had finished their exposition phase of the movie and had gotten on to the story. So I'm gonna go ahead and assume that if you are watching this, you have probably at least read the book, possibly gone to see the movie. So I'm gonna be, you know, laying down spoilers without much concern. You've been warned. If you have not, you know, seen the movie yet, but have read the book, I think you'll be fine, because like I said, it follows the book pretty much note for note. And unfortunately, that was kind of my biggest problem with the movie, which is bizarre, because you think a movie follows a book really well, you'll like it if you liked the book, but honestly, both my husband and I left the theater going, that was kind of boring. Like, maybe it was just because you build up in your head the final, you know, climactic moments of this series, which is a very action-heavy, exciting series, should be exciting, and it wasn't. When they were going through the Capitol and all those booby traps were happening, it was boring. How? I don't understand. The only thing I can think of is that it was so note for note from the book, although they did miss out a few of the booby traps. And it lacked, I don't know, some of the danger that I felt from the other two movies. Even though you know Katniss is gonna live, she's the hero, but the danger that I felt in the other two movies and the excitement wasn't present in this one. And maybe it was trying to feel too real? I'm not sure. I can't put my finger on it. I will address one of the biggest problems that I had, well, two of the biggest problems that I had with the book and with the movie. With the book and movie at this point, I was so done with the love triangle between Gale, Peeta, and Katniss. So done. Ready for that to be just gone. I didn't even care. I mean, I'm Team Peeta, but at that point, I didn't even care if she had love interest. Also, a big problem that I had with the third book was when they got to the Capitol and they were facing all of these booby traps that were set up. It felt really fake, and it felt almost laughable that this was just like the Hunger Games again, which I kind of have come to understand that Suzanne Collins has a hard time writing realistic situations. Like, she can write realistic feelings and characters that you sympathize with, and she does a good job with a very fictional world of showing you that children killing each other is bad. Not okay. But when she got to the third book, it felt like she didn't know what to do with the real world, the world that was not the games. And so she just made the games again, instead of having it be more like real warfare. It's like, oh, they've set all these booby traps that'll behave just like the games. I mean, I know the book tells us why, but I think it's silly. And it's silly in the movie as well. It's like, oh good, the Hunger Games again. One of the biggest problems that the movie has where the book, of course, will always excel is in expressing Katniss's feelings. Which is weird, because sometimes Katniss drives me crazy, more so I think in the books than in the movies, because we're in her head. But in the third book, when we are in her head, it really gives us a really intimate view of what all of this bloodshed and death has done to her. How utterly fucked up she is by all of this. And it expresses far better Suzanne Collins' intention, which is to show you that children killing each other is bad. You really see that in Katniss, because in the, she's always got her head up her ass, but after a while, after she's been through so much shit, you forgive her for it because she's got PTSD coming out everywhere and she's so traumatized. And the author keeps killing her family members, and so you understand it a lot better in the book. In the movie, it was almost really too understated, and I wished, it's like somebody told the actress to tone it down, because I don't know, she just felt really stony and dead, and maybe she was told to act that way, like somebody who's like barely contained or could just contain themselves, stone face. But because of that, we lacked a lot of the feeling of emotion that we got from the book, the understanding of how fucked up she is, and how life for her will never be okay and never be normal ever again. At the end of the book, when I was first reading it, I thought she was going to commit suicide because she was so messed up. At the end of the movie, she just after she kills Coin or whatever, I thought she was going to commit suicide in the book. I was like, okay, she killed Coin, and now she's going to kill herself, and that will be a really, really intense ending for this book, and I'm okay with that. And she didn't, and whatever. But in the movie, I never got the notion that she was going to kill herself. She was just going to be like, okay, I killed Coin. What happens to me now? I go home? Okay. And of course, the very ending of both the book and the movie bother me because even though I am a Peeta shipper, and it is great to see the good guy, the nice guy, end up with a girl at the end, because we are swimming in books where the bad boy ends up with a girl. So it was nice to see the fluffy painter, bread maker, artsy type get the girl, but at the same time, Katniss was so fucked up that a happy life with 2 children, I feel like that was never gonna happen for her, and the ending felt too wrapped up, too schmaltzy, too perfect. Even though they do say, oh, I have bad dreams, my PTSD will always be there, these are my coping mechanisms, I'm sorry, but no. If Peeta convinced her to marry him, I could maybe see that, but I can bet good money that real-life Katniss would never allow herself to get pregnant. If there was even a chance that she could have a child that could end up with the life experiences that she had, she would not let it happen. So, I don't know. The ending always seemed way too schmaltzy for me in both the book and the movie. Okay, so overall feelings about the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2. It was a disappointing ending, and I don't feel like it needed to be 2 movies. And I think the fact that it was turned into 2 movies really took the momentum right out of it, took the wind right out of its sails, and detracted significantly from the story and from, like I said, the momentum. And so by the time we got to the 4th one, we expected a lot more. We expected something a lot more grand than what we got, versus if it was just more of the final Mockingjay movie that was just 1 movie, I don't think it would have been quite so boring. And they kill Finnick, and that's not okay. It's not okay. Finnick is best character. And he dies stupid. He dies so stupid. Anyway, pet peeves of mine. And of course the author just loves to kill off everyone that Katniss ever knew or loved, except for the 2 boys that want her heart. But anyway, that's my thought on Mockingjay Part 2. Did you go to see it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you find that the momentum was ruined? Did you think that Jane would ever give me my chair back? Because it's not gonna happen. I will see you guys all again next time when I will probably be doing a book review. Bye!